Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to another Cup of Tech. Thank you so much for everyone who watched last week. It was quite a big show, it was quite long. This one, 3 stories. First of all, wallpaper this week supplied by Daniel Elias. You can follow him on Twitter here. And also the mug this week has also been supplied by a fan of the show, Rob. Thank you so much for the mug, love it. Yes, I kind of am addicted to Twitter. Now, some big news, let's get straight to it. First up, Google. Google's come out this week and they've kind of said that they want to have everybody on the internet. Why? Because Google's business relies on people being on the internet, using their services and then making money through advertising, right? So what they've done is they've come out and they've first of all said that only 33% of the world's population has internet access. And I completely freaked out when I heard that because I always thought that everybody's on the internet, that's who's not on the internet, surely, right? But it turns out only, 1/3 of the world's population have it, which is crazy. So they want to fix that by putting balloons in the sky. Now, internet-connected balloons that float 20 kilometers above the Earth, circle around the place, and at the same time connecting from the balloon to these base stations on the ground and providing internet access to people who live in regional areas, really remote areas and things like that. They're trialing it right now in New Zealand. Like, this is not something that's coming or anything like that. They're actually testing it as we speak. And trials in New Zealand with 40 balloons, 40, and then they're testing also in Tasmania, Australia, later on in the next couple of months or something like that. Now, it's a huge deal. It's a crazy amount of thought going into balloons floating above the Earth, especially when they move, and they have to be able to track them while they're moving and also still making sure that there's still going to be enough coverage, which you would think to cover the Earth is going to need a heck of a lot of balloons. Interesting thoughts. Kudos to Google for doing something like this. It does take someone as big as Google to kind of kick this off and try and give internet to everybody, because if you don't have internet, you're not watching this, and that's crazy. The second big thing for me this week, JayZ. JayZ and Samsung have partnered up together. You see, JayZ is bringing out a new album pretty soon. It's called Magna Carta Holy Grail. And he's teamed up with Samsung to bring the album to Samsung owners first. So what that means is 1 million Samsung device owners will get a free download of JayZ's new album 72 hours before it gets released. Now, the app, which you'll need to make this happen, will be available on the 24th, which is very close to when you're watching this video, hopefully. And you'll be able to download the app, and then come the stroke of midnight, on the 4th of July, you will need to download it, and the first 1 million people to do so will get it for free. It's rumored that Samsung paid about $5 per album to JayZ to get this content, so that's about $5 million straight in JayZ's pocket at launch. Now, also, when you watch the video, you'll see it playing, but you've got to actually watch it yourself with audio. You'll hear something interesting which he says. He says, when we've finished recording, finished producing the album, bang, we're going to put it out there and let everybody just share it and get to it. Now, that's really interesting, because what it means is this. It means that when he's finished the album, it will be available for purchase, for download immediately across the world. Kanye West, for example, last week had a new album coming out. 4 days before it was meant to come out, it was leaked. And what that means is that his album was ready and probably just waiting for the actual release date before it went out there. What JayZ is doing is wrapping it up, not allowing for any leaks, not allowing for anyone to download it illegally or anything like that first, having it available to the people who want to buy it on day one from the minute that it's ready. And I think that is a huge move, and it's really, really smart, because piracy and things like that's a huge issue. People like JayZ want to make money off their music, and that's the only way they're going to do it, is get it out to everybody worldwide, day one, bang. Really cool. I'm going to download the app on my S4. I'm really hoping to get the album for free. If not, I may have to actually buy it. Crazy. The big news I actually received today, I was actually going to film yesterday, lucky I didn't. The news I received today about Xbox. Microsoft came out and sort of did a massive backflip on comments and plans they had for the Xbox One. Now, first of all, last week I did a video talking about the PS4 and Xbox One. Had some great comments from you guys about, I initially would favor the Xbox One over the PS4, but people were against it because of these 2 reasons, which have now changed. Reason number 1 was that you couldn't trade in, lend games and things like that, which was a huge problem for people, including myself. I like to buy games, and then when a new one comes out, I want to take that game which I've finished playing with, I want to take it back, get some credit for it towards my new game. You couldn't do that with the Xbox One as planned, but they've done a backflip on that. You now can. You can borrow games, you can lend them to each other, you can sell them secondhand, whatever you want to do, get pre-owned games. Thank you. Good move. PS4, you could already do that, but it's good that Microsoft kind of woke up to themselves on that one. Secondly, the always online thing that people were so worried about, they've done a backflip on that as well. They're saying, yes, when you get the game, you need to connect to the internet to verify that you've got the game and register it, but after that, go ahead, play offline, do whatever you like. And it's really important because there are people who actually take their Xboxes and consoles on holidays with them, I'm not kidding. And when they do that, they may not have internet connectivity and they may not actually be wanting to play online anyway, they just want to play their Xbox. So not having internet connectivity is kind of important because you still want to be able to play your games which you own, you've paid for, so it makes sense for them to do this. I can just imagine what Microsoft were even thinking when they first of all announced that they were going to do it, and then once everyone comments and goes crazy about it, they just think, well, maybe it's not a good idea. Who would have thought that people would be against that kind of concept? It's a crazy thing. I'm glad they've done it just before it goes to launch because I think people were moving away from Xbox purely for that decision. Glad to see them change it. I had an interesting comment on the article that I wrote from Ant. Really cool. It said, while the customer is not always right, they are always good for business. And it's so true that, you know, whether what we want is actually the right thing or not for Microsoft, we're the ones that ultimately are paying for the console and are putting money in their pockets. So if they're not doing what people want, then they're not going to get the business and people will go and buy the PS4 and things like that. So interesting comment, perfect, summed it up completely well. I could have just said that instead of doing this whole video, but I didn't, and it was amazing. So thank you to people who comment. You know, it's people like you guys that make this show brilliant. Seriously, so much stuff. The cup, the wallpaper, the comments, keep them coming. We'll see you next week. I have to scull this coffee because there's quite a bit left and not enough stories to sip in between of. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next week. Bye.